It's the 17th day of January 2021, and we want to give God thanks for another week. Welcome to Principal's Hour with your principal, Jermaine Harris. It is my pleasure to bring this program to you another week. I want to welcome all my viewers on Facebook and YouTube. Also want to recognize my technical assistant, Mr. Chambers, who is always here with me on Sundays from 5 to 6 p.m. So it's 1 hour of interaction with your principal as we seek to share information with my stakeholders about the operations of Kellis High School. So welcome again, and I hope that you are doing well wherever you are. Hope that you are hearing me loud and clear. You can just send me a message as usual to indicate if you're hearing me. I hope that wherever you are, your connectivity is good and you're tuning into another Principal's Hour. As usual, you can always send me your questions and your concerns, your comments, and my number will be going across the screen during the program. So welcome. Today, we have a number of things put together for your interest. We're going to start with some commendations. Then today is the final day of Earthquake Awareness Week, and we'll be having a representative from the school. We should have had someone from ODPEM, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. However, we were not able to get through, so we have the coordinator of the Emergency Preparedness Program at Kellis High School, Mr. Linton, who will be joining me later to share some information on earthquake. Also, we have our student leaders. We have our female student leader, Ms. Tiffany Brown, who will join me later as well. And we will also have Mr. Eric Bryan, our male student leader. So I hope that you are tuning in, and we look forward to a very informative and exciting program today. But first, I want to make a correction. Last week, I indicated that midterm exam would be the 15th to the 26th of February. I did not realize that was information that I would have presented, the 15th to the 26th. So that is not the date for midterm exam. However, the date is the 1st of February through to the 12th. So the first 2 weeks in February will be mid-year exams. So you can make that correction. All right, hope my parents are listening, hope my students are listening, my past students, and other viewers of this program. We welcome you again. So I start with commendations. We have 3 young ladies, 3 past students of the Kellis High School. I asked Mr. Chambers to see if their pictures can be shown on the screen. He's trying to get them up, but there are 3 young ladies who I want to use this program to big up and to recognize, because as usual, you know that your principal loves to share the positives, and there are there are a number of positives that are happening at Kellis High School, but I want to share these 3 young ladies who received first class honors in their studies. So they just concluded their studies at their teachers' colleges, and we want to recognize these three young ladies. So I'm going to ask Mr. Chambers to see if, yes, so we want to start with Rushoy Flynn. And Rushoy Flynn, a past student, she attended Church Teachers College. And if you look on your screen, she received Bachelor of Education, first class honors. So that is the highest award that a student would have received in her batch, and we want to commend her. She came to Kellett High School, got her subjects, went on to Church Teachers College, and yes, she received a first class honors. And we want to congratulate and big up Rushoy Flynn for that achievement, and we want to wish her all the best in her future endeavors. Yes, past student of Kellett High School. The second young lady that I want to recognize, we just wait until her picture is shown. Just a moment. All right, it's coming up anytime now. You see, there are many times when we highlight the negatives, and this program, you know that I highlight the positives. So the second young lady I want to big up is Miss Trishana Benjamin. She also attended the Church Teachers College, and yes, she received a Bachelor of Education, first class honors. Big up Trishana, and we wish you all the best in your endeavors as well. And we know that you, along with Rushoy, will make yourself proud, your family proud, and I know that you have made your past school, Kellett High, very, very proud. So big up Trishana for that achievement. And our third first class honors awardee will be coming up shortly. So we had Rushoy Flynn. Hopefully one day I'll get them on my program live so I can do a live interview with them so that they can share their experiences. And I'm sure that current students will be motivated and impressed about their achievements, and we hope that it will encourage and propel them to do well. So our third awardee is Miss Tamian Campbell. She got a Bachelor's of Education as well, first class honors, but she attended St. Joseph's Teachers College. So big up Tamian, well done, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors as well. We know that you will continue to do well, and again, on behalf of the entire Kellett High School family, we salute you. We congratulate all three young ladies for doing exceptionally well in their studies. And we know that this is just the beginning of great things to come. Yes, first class honors. And I hope that persons by now will recognize and appreciate that. Little Kellett High School. All right. Welcome, Miss Redway. All right. I know you're smiling because you would have contributed as well to the successes of these three young ladies. All right, Delisa. All right. So my viewers are hearing me loud and clear. So again, big up Rashard Flynn, big up Trishana, and big up Tamian. Well done. And we hope to speak to you in the future. All right. So those are commendations. Just a little update before I try to get Mr. Linton on set. So last week, we got an inspection from the Ministry of Health, and I am happy to report that we got 100% compliance. So all the boxes were ticked, and we received 100% compliance, which is the highest um, rating that a school can receive. And I would have seen on the media where there are some schools that did not get satisfactory approval to have face-to-face classes. However, my viewers, even though we received that ranking, there is a process that must be followed. So we have sent off the report to the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and we are now awaiting their response to determine when we will have face-to-face classes. But I am confident that it will be sooner than later, because this would have been the first hurdle where an assessment would be done to see if we are COVID-19 compliant, and we are COVID-19 compliant. All right, I see a member of the board joining in, Mrs. Johnson. All right, big up, thanks. I'm so proud of the ladies. Yes, all of us, because good things can come out of little Kelly's High School. All right. So we want to commend them. Okay, good. There goes a teacher. Congratulations to those 3 students. All right, Mrs. Roberts, I know that you would have had a part to play in these young ladies' lives, and we thank you for tuning in. All right, so what I'm hearing from the Ministry of Health is that they will have to do their risk analysis. So even though a school may be COVID-19 compliant 100%, there are other variables that will have to be taken into considerations. And we hope and trust that we will get the green light very soon to welcome our students back into the physical environment. All right, so we're trying to get Mr. Linton online. So we're going to try to get him on so that he can answer some questions and share with my audience as we come to the end of Earthquake Awareness Week. Mr. Linton. Mr. Linton, are you hearing me? All right, we'll try again to see if we can get Mr. Linton online so that we can share some information before we move to our next. Or we're trying to get him in, get him online. It's ringing. Mr. Linton. Good afternoon, Mr. Linton. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, sir.
All right. I hope my viewers are hearing me. My viewers, can you hear Mr. Linton? Just give me a indication if you can hear Mr. Linton. He is the coordinator of the emergency preparedness operations at Kelly's High School. He's the person who carry out the drills, and he's the person who inform the students and staff about earthquake, fire, floods, hurricanes, and so on. So I'm not sure if they're hearing you. Just indicate, somebody could just put Mr. Linton.
I'm here, sir.
All right, good, good. All right, good. They're hearing you. So, Mr. Linton, there are some questions that I want you to field with me, and I hope that these questions will bring some more clarity and bring some additional knowledge to my viewers. So, my first question, sir, what are earthquakes and what causes them?
All right, sir. So, earthquakes are rupturing process in the earth crust that leads to the vibration on the surface layer of the planet. These are caused by the movement of tectonic plates. So as they move across each other, they will vibrate, creating that earthquake feature, the rupturing of the earth crust.
Okay, good. So it's basically plates touching each other as they move along.
Yes.
All right, good, good. So that is basically earthquake and how it is caused. All right, I hope my viewers, you're making notes and you're understanding a little more about earthquake as we wrap up Earthquake Awareness Week. So how many earthquakes occur annually worldwide? About how many? Let us look at worldwide earthquake occurrence. About how many do you think occur worldwide?
All right, so the worldwide occurrence of earthquake depends upon its magnitude. So there's a magnitude of an earthquake tell us about the amount of energy released. So they are classified based on their magnitude.
Okay.
So the magnitude normally is on a scale from 1 to 10.
Yes.
Right? And for earthquakes that have a magnitude of 8 and above, we normally have these at least once per year.
Yes.
And from 7, above 7, or below 8, it's about 15 quakes yearly.
Okay.
And from 5 to 6, it's about 1,300.
Good.
And from 3 to 4, it's 130,000 yearly.
Okay.
But these are very small quakes, so they're hardly felt. So that is why we are not aware of these 130 quakes on a yearly basis.
All right, so the earthquake that we should pay attention is probably magnitude 5 and above.
Yes.
Okay, those are the ones that cause serious damages, but there are others that are just tremors and don't. Okay, all right, thank you.
Exactly.
Okay, well said. So what equipment is used to record and measure these earthquakes?
All right, so earthquakes are normally recorded by seismometers.
Yes.
That are normally placed in quiet areas with little man-made vibration. So what we mean by quiet areas with little man-made vibration, we will put them in buildings or basements of business buildings, abandoned tunnels that is no longer being used, and we don't put them in areas with cities. For example, Kingston will not have a seismometer because this area will normally have natural vibration from constructions and vehicles.
Okay, interesting, good. So I hope my viewers are listening. We are speaking to Mr. Linton, Disaster Preparedness Coordinator at Kellis High School, and he's sharing with us some important information on earthquake as we bring the curtain down on our earthquake awareness activities at Kellis High School. So where do earthquakes occur most frequently?
All right, so earthquakes occur most frequently closer to the tectonic boundary. So in countries like the west and the north coast of America, Indonesia, Japan, Central Asia, and parts of China, Turkey, and other countries that are closer to the tectonic boundary. Especially Japan. Japan at least feels about 50 or more earthquakes on a yearly basis.
Wow.
But these are not exactly dangerous at all times. Sometimes it's about 3 to 4.
Okay, good. So I see why we usually have devastating earthquake in Asia.
Yes.
Because those are the areas where earthquake occur mostly.
Yes, because they're closer to the tectonic plate.
Okay.
The plates that I mentioned before that rubbed across each other.
Yes.
Yes, they are closer to those plate lines.
Interesting. Good.
Yes.
All right. So is it possible to predict earthquakes?
There's no way of predicting earthquake, but what the seismometers do over the years with development of technology is to basically create a periodic probability table. Just to say that we will have probably we'll have a tremor in June. So this tremor might not be there.
Yes.
But by observing previous years, we will see that every June there is a tremor, but there is a probability that it don't come this year. So we can't really predict it the same way.
Okay, so it is basically based on the activities that would have occurred over a period of time. So there's a trend and there's a probability that it may happen.
Again.
Okay, but there is no definitive prediction to say it will, because earthquake can occur as we speak, right?
Yes, no.
All right, good.
Predictive.
Good. So where can someone obtain information on current and past earthquakes?
All right, so for local information on current and past earthquake, that is information about Jamaica.
Yes.
We can get these from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and from different websites online, especially earthquaketrack.com. So earthquaketrack.com will give you a worldwide earthquake listing, which you can go through to find local information. And there are many, many more earthquake awareness websites out there for us to find current, recent and past information.
Okay, good. So as we looked at our theme for this week, earthquakes have no season. So do your part, be earthquake smart, because there's no season because it can occur at any time. So, Mr. Linton, in terms of protection, because this is the part that I want my viewers to zero in on. How can someone protect themselves during an earthquake?
Okay, so protections of earthquake is normally based upon your location.
Yes.
So on an indoor basis, if you're indoor, then you should drop to the ground, cover yourself by placing one hand above your, protecting your head and your neck. So that hand should run across your neck, going up to your head. And you should move immediately under a table or a sturdy structure that you can fit under. Now, in the past, persons used to say stand in the door jam. That's not a good practice because some of these door jams can actually fall apart as well.
Okay.
Yes. And if you're on a stairs moving from one floor level to another level, it is best to hold on to the railing and do not move any further because while going down, the stairs might collapse.
Okay.
But if you're holding onto a railing that is connected to the floor above, while the stairs may collapse, that railing can still be attached to the floor above, so you will be holding on and not falling with the collapse stairs.
Okay, interesting.
If you're in an elevator, you should crouch on the ground so that if it is released, you will have minimum impact on your body when that elevator falls on the ground floor.
Okay.
And so that's the inside region.
Yeah, what if you're outside?
If you're in bed,
yes,
it is always best to move underneath that bed as well. But if you're sleeping and you don't feel that tremor, a best practice is to move every object away from your bed. So having a dresser beside the bed, having a closet or a wardrobe beside the bed is not a good practice.
Okay.
And, yes, and if you're outside now, you should also crouch, but crouch in an area that is not close to telephone lines and tall buildings that may collapse on that area that you are. And tall trees, do not go in an area that you have tall trees, buildings, and so on. So like alleyways that is between two buildings, that's a no-no.
Okay.
Yes, and those are the two areas that we basically classify protection as indoor and
outdoor. Okay, all right. Interesting. I hope that you are listening, my viewers. So we usually say drop, cover, and hold on. So drop as low as possible. Cover, as Mr. Linton said, use your arm to cover your head and your neck, and hold on to something so that you can protect yourself. All right, sir. Well said. So a few more questions to ask you before I allow you to go. But what does epicenter mean? We always hear this on the news, the epicenter of the earthquake. What does that mean?
All right, so the epicenter of the earthquake is like the origin, the spot at which the planes move across each other, or the spot at which we have that break in the crust of the earth.
Yes.
So that's where the earthquake originates from. That's what we call the epicenter.
Okay. So it is like the center, the main area where the earthquake would occur. So,
yes,
okay. All right, good, good. I hope you are learning, my viewers, and I
So
hope
it's just
that this.
as if you were to drop a ball on the ground,
Yes.
the point at which the ball hit the ground, that will be the epicenter of the vibration that the ball creates.
Okay, good, good, good. All right,
Yes.
so it is a social studies geography lessons for my viewers as we bring the curtain down, as I said, on Earthquake Awareness Week. And even though it is virtual, we still observed it. And I'm sure that the students and parents would have received some information during this time. All right, what is the intensity of an earthquake? When we talk about the intensity of an earthquake, what are we referring to?
All right, so earthquakes is normally measured on two scales. We have the magnitude, which basically speaks of the amount of energy released.
Yes.
And the intensity now measures the shock, wave, and vibration as the earthquake moves through each location. So the intensity depends upon a location, right?
Yes.
So we will say the intensity of the earthquake is stronger at the epicenter.
Okay.
While a country further away from the epicenter that might feel this earthquake
Yes.
will have a lower intensity.
Okay.
But yet the earthquake magnitude is high. So for example, if you could recall in January 28th of 2020 last year, we had an earthquake that almost the entire Jamaica felt.
Yes.
That earthquake had a magnitude of 7.3. But yet still, there was no damage done at Jamaica.
Yes.
But if you were to look at some videos circulated on different social medias, you would have seen where the Cayman Island had areas where the ground break apart.
Yes.
Yes, because they were closer to the epicenter.
So the intensity would have been greater.
Yes, while the intensity at Jamaica would have been less.
Less. Okay, so you can have a.
We did not have enough damage or anything like that, even though the magnitude was high.
So let me just see if I can clarify that. So the magnitude can be high, but the intensity low.
Yes.
And the magnitude can be low and the intensity high.
No, yes, the magnitude low and the intensity
high. Okay. All right. Good.
Because
good.
as I said, the closer you are to the epicenter, the greater the
intensity will be.
Yes.
All right. So countries like the Caribbean countries are somewhat less. The probability of us having a high intensity would be less than, say, Asia, which is closer to the epicenter.
Yes.
Okay.
And not just, well, some earthquakes can be from different vibration or different breakage in the crust.
Yes.
So if it is not a tectonic plate and just a natural eruption of an underground volcano within the Caribbean,
yes,
the intensity can be high.
Okay. All right. Clear.
Yes.
All right. Good. So we usually hear about the Richter scale. What is this? What is the Richter scale?
All right. So the Richter scale is a magnitude scale that designates certain damages to the magnitude.
Yes.
Right? So you will say like a magnitude 8 will not be high on the Richter scale. Right?
Oh.
So we are saying that its damage scale for that would have been very high because it released a large amount of energy. Okay.
All right, good. All right. I just have 3 more questions before I let you go because we only have 1 hour for this broadcast. We would have used up half an hour already, and I have 2 other guests. So moving along quickly, what was the strongest earthquake ever recorded worldwide? Because I know you would have said that there are certain magnitude in terms of the earthquake. What would be the strongest earthquake ever measured based on your research?
The strongest earthquake given would have been on a magnitude of 9.5 recorded in Chile of the 22nd of May 1960.
Okay. 9.8?
9.5.
9.5. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that would be serious. So let us come home to Jamaica now. What would be the strongest earthquake ever recorded in Jamaica?
All right, so the strongest earthquake ever recorded near Jamaica would have been of March 1st, 1957, with a magnitude of 8.0.
Okay.
But most persons remember the Port Royal earthquake,
yes,
which was 7.5, right? So the Port Royal earthquake was more devastating than this 8.0 magnitude with an epicenter in Hanover. This is because the intensity was low.
Okay,
Yes.
understand.
While the 7.5 at Port Royal was the epicenter and it have a very high intensity. So it does a lot of damage.
Damages, okay, and everybody remember about that Port Royal. All right.
Yes.
Also want to share my viewers that, I mean, I would have learned it is not relating to earthquake, but based on history lessons, we would have been taught that Spanish Town was the first capital of Jamaica. I am now learning that it is not Spanish Town, but it is actually Port Royal.
It was actually Port
Royal, yes. So I mean, many of our history students would have been taught otherwise. So I just want to bring that information. Mr. Linton, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Principals Hour. And you would have shared a lot of information, and I know that you have more. And I want to commend you for the wonderful job that you're doing and continue to raise the bar at Kelly's High School, sir. All the best. Thanks again.
Okay, sir. Well, CC, thanks for having me on the Principal Hour.
Yes.
And you're doing a good job with this hour, educating our students, parents, and stakeholders and past students as well, knowing that Kelly's is actually rising the bar from which they have left it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We'll talk. Good.
Okay, sir.
All right. So there you just heard our disaster preparedness coordinator. I know that he have a lot more information to share with you, but based on the time constraint, and I think that he would have said a lot. All right, Miss Parchment, very informative facts on earthquake. Thank you. And I know that you're always tuning in. All right. So we are trying to connect with our female student leader. So I'm going to ask Mr. Chambers to see if we can get Miss Tiffany Brown. She will join me shortly to do an interview. Now, we would have done our process of selecting our student leaders, and Miss Tiffany Brown came out on top. And even though we are online and we are operating remotely, we still believe that we should continue the tradition of choosing we usually say head boy, head girl, but this year we changed it a little bit and we recognize them as our female. Tiffany's trying to connect. I'm not sure if her internet is strong enough. It's trying to connect. And I think we will have her shortly as Mr. Chambers tried to get Tiffany connected. I also want to recognize our student leader coordinator, Ms. Kelligan, who did a wonderful job in carrying out this process where the students had to apply for the position. They had to present to the teachers who cast their vote. And at the end of the process, these two individuals, Tiffany Brown, and later we hope to hear from Eric Bryan. They are both sixth formers. I believe Tiffany Brown is in lower sixth. That's grade 12 and grade 12, and Eric is in grade 13. So we're trying to connect with them. Mr. Chambers, can you get any one of them? We will try to connect them. But in the meantime, if you have any questions that you'd want to ask during this time, you can go ahead as we try to connect with Ms. Tiffany Brown, our female student leader. She will have a interview with me just to hear what are her plans and just for you to meet our student leader. Seems like her internet. All right, Tiffany is on. Good evening, Tiffany.
Yes, ma'am, but it's like not. It's like the Wi-Fi is even problem.
Wi-Fi is, yes, I suspect. But
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear me? Can you hear me, Tiffany?
No, I'm not. Like,
All right, you're live, Tiffany. You're live.
we
Um,
can fix it.
yes, we are hearing you,
Let
Tiffany.
me go.
Seems like our internet is a bit weak. You know that in this area, if it is not flow, you really don't get that strength in the internet connection. But she's trying to connect. I hope that she will be able to join because I would love to have a talk with her. All right, Eric, I wonder if Eric is able to connect. Eric, all right, Eric is trying. All right, Eric. So we will. Are you hearing loud and clear, Eric?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to Principals Hour, and I want to congratulate you for being our male student leader for the academic year 2020-2021. And I want my viewers to know that Eric also sits on the Board of Governors and he represents the students' body. How are you doing, sir?
So I'm doing well, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, thank you. All right, I have some questions that I want to share with you, and I hope that you will be brave and bold enough to share with my viewers. So tell me a little about Eric. Who is Eric?
Sure. Well, firstly, good afternoon. My name is Eric Bryan, and I am currently doing upper six at the KHS School, where I pursue the sciences, and in the future, I would like to become a neurosurgeon if God's willing.
All
Eric
right,
Bryan is
good.
a person who is not afraid to try and achieve results for whatsoever he goes for.
All right, thank you, Eric. So describe your experiences at Kelly's High School so far. I know that you didn't start in grade 7. I believe that you came to Kelly's in sixth form, but describe your experiences so far at the school.
So far, my experience has been very good actually. All the teachers which I've had have actually tried very their very best to bring out the best in their children. And as you said, I was transferred here from another school. And for me, the to get settled in was pretty quickly and surprisingly easy. So I would say that Kellett High School, it has given me a great experience.
All right, good. So you had other schools that you could choose. Why did you enter Kelly's High School sixth form program?
Sir, I'm not hearing you, sir.
All right. I said that you would have had other choices, but why Kelly's High School? Why did you choose Kelly's High School sixth form program?
Sir, mainly because it is a school which is close to where I live, and I really don't think that it's actually that bad of a school. It's actually a good school because I know that people might say that Kellett High School is not as good as some others, but I would like to say that that's a lie because that's just the stigma which we have grown up with for a very long time.
Okay, good. So, what are your plans after completing sixth form program? I know you said that you want to be a neurosurgeon, but that is a specialized area. So, what are your immediate plans after leaving Kelly's High School?
After leaving Kellett High School, I would like to go to university to go to into a doctor field, namely UA or maybe one overseas.
Okay, well said. Because usually, because I have a young lady who wants to become a pathologist, but I said to her that pathologist would have been this specialized area, so it would be in her best interest. As a matter of fact, she would have to gain a bachelor's in the general medicine and then specialized area. So I think that would be the same thing that you would be pursuing, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good, good. So I know that you would have applied for the position, you would have sell yourself to the teachers. So as the male student leader, what are some plans that you hope to achieve, even though it is face to face? What are some, sorry, virtual online classes? What are some plans that you hope to achieve?
Well, firstly, I would like to to let the student body become more confident in the school that they attend, so that they know that it's not a bad school. I would like to defeat that stigma that children have, that they are less than their peers because they come to this school. And I would also like for not only the children but also the parents to see that Kellett High School is a school that can achieve results, so that they might even choose Kellett High School over other schools which they would have in the past.
All right. So my viewers, you're listening to our male student leader, Mr. Eric Bryan, and he is our male student leader for the academic year 2020-2021. I just have a few more questions for you, Eric. I know that even though you speak so glowingly about your school, but are there any improvements that you would want to see at Kellis High School? You could share
Well,
any.
first, well, the main thing that I would like is for the students to be more confident about their school, and also I would like to see the school focus more on the practical subject areas, because Einstein himself once said that if you try to judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, then that fish will continue living out its entire life thinking that it's stupid. And what this is saying is that if we try to force them to do something that they're not comfortable with, then they will not be successful in that area. So I would like to see more focus on practical areas, so that it's not just an area to be frowned upon.
Okay, so I know that many schools focus on academia. You're recommending that we expand our vocational areas to cater to the needs of other students.
Yes, sir.
All right, good, good. So in a minute or so, you are being broadcast across the world because you are live on Facebook currently and you are live on YouTube. Tell the world why you believe. You would have said it earlier in some extent, but I want you to tell the world why you believe Kelly High School is a quality school. So I'm giving you a chance to sell your school now.
Well, I would say that Kellett High School is a good school because I have personally known people who were doing poorly in other schools, and their parents had to transfer them to Kellett High School, in which they were doing better. And just look at our previous CXC parties, in which my fellow student body got so many CXCs. I'm not sure how much. It was supposed to be 8 or something like that.
Actually 10.
So if we can create students who can do that so much, then I would say that there is no issue with Kellett High School. It's actually a very good school. The issue arises where students or parents per se think that this relationship that students and teachers have is a dependent one, when in truth it's interdependence, because I know that the teachers are trying their best. And for students who actually try with the teachers, they achieve great results, just as previously mentioned in the CXC passes.
Okay, good, good. So, my viewers, right there, you know that it is not just your principal would be gloating about Kelly High School, but our male student leader who is now in his second year at the school. And if you don't take it from me, then you can take it from Eric. But my final question to you before we try to connect with Tiffany once more, I'll give you a chance now to big up and to give shout out to your family and friends. Do you have anyone that you want to big up at this time? I'll give you a chance to do so before you go.
Sure, I'd like to big up my family, especially my mother. I would also like to big up Kelly, who actually encouraged me to take this position and also helped me when getting ready for everything else. I also like to big up Mr. and Mrs. Linton, Miss Henry, Miss Richards, Miss Kelligan, Miss McKay, Miss Bryce, Mr. Ashley, and all of my friends. And also I would like to big up those who were with me on this journey, and also those who were against me, because without them I might have become complacent on the way.
All right, thank you, Eric. Well said, sir. And I know that you have a bright future ahead of you, my son, and we wish you all the best. Thanks for joining us on Principals Hour, and we will definitely get a chance to speak to you in the future. Take care, sir, and thanks again.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for having me.
All right, so there you have it. Our male student leader for the academic year 2020-2021, Mr. Eric Bryan. And I was impressed by his presentation, and I hope that you too would have received something from him. And even though there are a lot of negatives about what is happening in Jamaica with our young people, there are young people in Jamaica that are doing well. And this program will highlight those young people from time to time. So you will not only hear of your principal, who is at the head of the institution now, but you will hear from other persons as well, past students, current students, teachers as well, as we try to inform you about Kellett High School. All right, we're trying to connect. Excellent and eloquent. You are in your response. You're right, eloquent in your response, Eric. Good. So Miss Parchment, beginning up, Eric, and I know that other persons as well. So we're trying to connect with Tiffany before we complete. All right, Tiffany is back on. Tiffany, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome, welcome. We are very much happy that you get a chance to join us, and I hope that you are comfortable and ready to speak to your viewers. You're live on Facebook and you're live on YouTube. So my first question, and I'll ask the same question that I asked Eric. Tell us a little about Tiffany.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiffany Brown. I am 18 years old and living in the community of Crossfield. I am determined, hardworking, reliable, and I am a leader and a role model.
All right, thank you. I know that your line's a little bit, but I hope my viewers are hearing you loud and clear. I know that the connectivity is not so strong, but I hope that it will improve as we go along. So describe your experiences so far at Kelly's High School, Tiffany.
When I first started Kelly High School, I was shy, disrespectful, and indecent. Indecent. These
Yes.
negative attitudes did not suit me as a student on the honor roll. My teachers motivate me. My teachers are always motivated me, and so then I became focused and start showing my true potential. I just want to inform you guys that the teachers at Kelly High School are always trying with students so they can do their best.
All right. And I want to say to your viewers, she mentioned that she was disrespectful. I know that Tiffany has grown tremendously because before I took over this position as principal, I was the dean of discipline and the vice principal later. And I know that I had to deal with some issues, and I would have seen growth in this young lady as we mentor her. And now she's the female student leader for the academic year 2020-2021. So why did you enter sixth form at Kelly's High School, Tiffany?
I entered the sixth form program to get my CAPE so I can be more qualified for the university.
Okay, good. All right. So you're looking forward to moving into university. Thank you. So what are some of your plans? What is your immediate plan after completing? I know that you're looking forward to university. Any possible career you have in mind?
Yes, I want to pursue a career in nursing.
Okay, so our male student leader want to become a neurosurgeon, and our female student leader want to become a nurse. So it's in the medical field. All right. So even though we're operating virtually, are there any plans that you seek to achieve for this academic year in your position as female student leader? Could you share with us if there are any plans?
I have 5 plans that I want to achieve for this year as the student leader. My first one is to organize online study groups. Um, the second one is to using online survey tools such as um, Google Forms to find out concerns that are affecting students online. Number three, to organize workshops and to help students stress from the COVID-19. Number four, to meet with the admin and member of staff to understand the effects of online teaching and learning for on teachers and students and come up with meaningful solutions to help bridge the gaps in learning to ensure a productive outcome.
Okay, interesting. You have a lot planned, and we hope that you will achieve those plans for the rest of the year. I just have a few more questions with you, Tiffany, as we come close to the end of Principal's Hour. Are there any improvements that you would want to see at Kelly's High School before you leave?
I would love to see Kelly's School improve in the sport department so talented students can be more recognized. And I also want to see students showing more interest in their lessons so they can further their studies.
Okay, good. So sports and interest in the lessons from the students. So in 1 minute, I want you to sell your school. Tell the world, you're on Facebook and YouTube. Tell the world why you believe that Kelly's High School is a quality school.
Kelly's School is definitely a quality school because of the great teachers we have and the high passes we have in CXC and Capes over the past years, and not to mention how beautiful our school is.
Okay, good. All right, thank you for that one. And I want to say to you, my viewers, we are one of the most attractive when it comes on to aesthetic. We always get a high mark for our aesthetic, how our school looks, and you can always come and view it for yourself. So my last question to you, Tiffany, do you have anyone that you want to use this medium to big up? You can go ahead at this time and big up your friends and family.
Yes, I want to big up my mom, Angela Ludford, my auntie Alexa Ludford, my grandmother Sylvia Douglas, Auntie Pauline, Kevin Rose, Mr. McKay, McDowell, Brandon McDowell, Twingie, and Shannon Reed.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany. There's a comment here. I am so proud of you, Tiffany, because you have overcome your shyness. And at Kellogg, we look at the holistic
Thank you.
development of our students, not only the formal education, but the informal and the in the curriculum as well, as we seek to make our students rounded. Thank you for joining me, Tiffany, and we hope that you will do well in your kids subjects and all the best for the rest of the year and your future endeavors. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so there you have it. You would have heard from Mr. Linton, the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator at Kelly's High School. Then we had all right, mommy's online. Angeli, all right, go my daughter. I know that you really work hard with your children. Also, you had a past student, Reed, and I think you have another one there as well. Alistair, well done. So there you would have heard from Mr. Linton, and then you heard from Eric, and then now you would have heard from Tiffany. So the program, I believe, would have been entertaining today as we share with us some of the happenings of Kelly's High School. Again, we want to commend our student leaders, and we wish them all the best as they go forward. We have to do our part to encourage our young people to improve and to raise the bar. That is the theme that I'm using this year because we settled too many times for mediocrity. And I know that our young people can do well, and I want to encourage the community, the church, the teachers, the parents, all of us. Let us work together to impart as much as we can so that we can help these young people to improve. All right? All right. So we have about 5 minutes to go, and I'll take your questions. All right. Thanks again, Ms. Parchment. If I should give a present for a popular fan of this program, I know that you would have been at the front of the line. I know that Mr. Grant as well, the person who would have made this possible, as I said earlier in one of my broadcasts, several broadcasts, when I first started this broadcast, he reached out to us and he decided to pay the subscription fee so that we can be on StreamYard.com. I want to thank him again, Alistair Grant. All right. So thanks again. Good night, Prince Jermaine. Prince Jermaine. Well, I'm being called Prince now. What's next, King? All right. Thank you, Martin Smith. All right. So are there any questions that you may have, parents, students, past students, other stakeholders? I'll give you the opportunity now. If not, you can share your comments as we approach the end of today's program. Again, I want to remind you that we did our inspection last week. We got 100% compliant. We're just waiting on the Ministry of Education now to give us the green light so that we can bring in especially our C-Sec and CAPE students to complete their SPAs, their IAs, and to fine-tune themselves for the exam coming up. All right? So again, I want to thank Mr. Chambers for making this possible. I want to thank the teachers at Kellis High School who are doing a wonderful job online. Buried on music when is school reopening. We are not certain as yet. And let me just qualify. So school is still online, but I'm certain that you're asking about when is face-to-face classes, when will it reopen? As I said earlier, we have passed one hurdle thus far. We have gotten the green light in terms of the satisfactory report from Ministry of Health. We're now waiting on Ministry of Education. So this week I'll be in contact with them and hopefully we will get the go ahead by next week. So we're just waiting on that before we can say definitively when we will be reopened. But it will be posted in the WhatsApp PTA groups. It will be posted on Facebook as well. So you will get information. But in the meantime, parents and guardians and students, try as much as possible to get online. I know that it is difficult. We're also trying with those printed kits. We have prepared some already. We're asking those parents that I would have submitted the names in the groups to come and collect those kits. The teachers are also putting some additional together. We would have gotten some workbooks last week. We are now putting the schedule together to see who we can issue those workbooks to. So we're trying all that we can at Kellis High School to assist our students. And I'm also reaching out to our sponsors, persons who are listening, who want to assist us in reaching these students in whatever form. Maybe you want to buy a book. Maybe you want to buy some credit. Maybe you want to provide a tablet or a laptop or whatever it may be, so that we can reach as many students as possible so we do not leave any student behind. So we are basically at the end of another program. I'm not seeing any questions coming in. So thanks for joining us. Want to thank Mr. Linton again. All right, Ms. Ludford, students without symptoms that have COVID, how can this be dealt with? Students without symptoms. All right, if school reopen, there is a protocol that the nurse will follow. And this is a protocol that comes from the Ministry of Health. Now, at the gate, we will do their temperature checks. We'll be asking parents who, if their children are displaying symptoms, not to send them to school. But if they come to school, they do not display symptoms, we will not know if they have COVID unless a test is done. But if they show any flu-like symptoms, we have an isolation area that the nurse will man. So the student or staff, anybody that display these symptoms will be taken to this isolation area, and the nurse will treat with the protocol in terms of what is expected from us. So usually we would change the mask if the child or staff has on a cloth mask, that will be changed to a disposable mask. Just giving us some of the protocol, but the nurse will bring on the program at some point to share with you. Then the parent would be called in, Miss Ludford. We would also have to inform the Ministry of Health, and then they will now take it from there. So we have all of those in place, and that is why we got 100% satisfactory in terms of our compliance. So we have all of those things in place. We're just waiting on the Ministry of Education to say, fly the gate, tell it and bring in these students. All right, it is not a easy time, but we ask that you continue to pray for us, all right, as we navigate through this new normal. Martin, I am so happy to see the growth and improvements over the years. I'm a past student, graduating class of, I think, 1998. 1998, all right. All right, Martin, so we thank you for joining in, and whatever you can do to assist your alma mater, we would be willing to accept. Yukio McKay, another past student. All right, Mr. McKay, will all students be required to do a COVID test before going? No, Mr. McKay, no. I'm not sure if you're in Jamaica, or maybe you're in a different jurisdiction, but in Jamaica, that is not required. The test is only done if person is showing flu-like symptoms. I don't think the government have that resources or that amount of resource to test all students. That would be good, but that is not the case. All right, Yukio. All right, any other questions? Mr. Chambers, if no other question, I'm going to ask you to put my number again on the screen as we close, so you can always send me a message via the number that will be going across the screen. So it is 799-9774, 799-9574. You can always take that number and send me question, comments, if you have any contribution that you want to make to your school, because it's going to take all of us. We are doing our part. We're asking the past students, we're asking the persons who believe that Kelly's High School have the potential to even improve, to assist us in improving the quality here at Kelly's High School. Again, thanks for joining us. And this is your principal, Jermaine Harris. As I tune out for another week, I want to thank all of you for joining us. And we look forward to meeting with you next week, same time. Not sure what will be in place, but you know that your principal will be on next week at 5 o'clock. Tell your friends to tune in via Facebook and YouTube for Principals Hour right here at Kelly's High School. Have a productive week and keep safe. God bless you.